Alright, so this is my 2020 Rocky Mountain Slayer. I wanted to put this together as it's a new bike from them, well, an update. So one of their newest updates, and there's a lot of people that have been just asking questions on the bike and wanting to figure out, maybe if this is the right bike for them. So I've had this thing for a little while now. I put over 100 miles on it, so gotten some riding in for sure. I bought this bike mostly just because I was looking for something that could essentially be a downhill, free ride bike, but I could still pedal to the top because a lot of our fun trails require you to pedal. So yeah, I picked this thing up, and so far I'm really stoked on it for sure. The bike has been very confidence inspiring compared to the 2017 Mission Pro that I was on, and I think it's just the body positioning and the newer geometry of the bike, but I don't preload the front end nearly as much, and yeah, my weight just doesn't feel like it's way over the bars, so I don't get tons of nosedive, and the suspension feels really good. I did adjust the amount of tokens in the front, so I pulled that sucker off. I got 2 tokens in there. I'm running like 4 psi under what RockShox recommends. I just like the really soft initial stroke for small bumps and the jittery stuff, and I've got just 2 hits of 2 clicks of the low speed compression just to keep it from diving, and then putting the extra token in there just keeps the front end from bottoming out on big stuff. It comes with 1 token from the factory, so I've got 2 in there now, and I try to keep the fastest rebound possible on the front end without it being all skittery and jittery. The rear shock, I have a different spring on there. It's still a RockShox spring, but this bike's a large. It's the C50 in large, and it came with a 450 spring, and I'm just don't weigh enough. I kind of had 22% sag with the 450 spring. So I've got the 400 on there now. They only had red in stock when I bought it, and I think it looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's way better. It's around like 26-27% sag now, and it's really easy to adjust. You got your low speed compression up there, your rebound there, and it's got your little flip switch for climb mode. So pretty much lockout and then open, and that's been pretty huge. A lot of people have been asking how the bike climbs, and it does climb really well, actually. I think it's just the positioning, with the newer geometry of these bikes and the steep seat tube. It does have a good position for climbing, and the rear does have a lot of traction. So I've actually been able to climb up stuff that I haven't been able to before. It's not a fast climber though, so yeah, you're not going to get to the top first, but you are going to get to the top. So that's kind of what I was looking for, just something to get me up there so I can just bomb down. And yeah, just been pretty stoked so far. The suspension was just really easy to set up. I had some Fox suspension on my last bike, which was really good, but it took me a while to figure it out. So this stuff, this RockShox stuff, was actually really easy to get it feeling really good. So I was pretty stoked on that, and I've just been doing laps. So things I have noticed is that on the rear triangle, I've been getting a couple of chips and some scratches, and this bridge in here It just gets a lot of rocks that are like stuck to the tire and then hits that, mostly during like climbing. So you just hear it, kind of stuff pinging off of it. And then just, you know, some more chips down here. You know, whatever. Like, the bike's not new anymore. I'm not really that concerned, but people might be curious. The whole front triangle seems to be just fine. You know, no issues. I do like that they have all this frame protection that comes with the bike. So, pretty stoked on that. And yeah, I mean, the bike weighs over 35 pounds. So it's not going to be something that you're just going to rally to the top with. But like I said, you'll get there and you're going to have a ton of fun just mobbing down. It's pretty comfortable hitting jumps. I feel really confident on the bike, even though it's, you know, was quite a bit different than my old bike. Didn't really matter, even with the stiffer rear spring. That wasn't ideal for me. Initially, I rode it down a bunch of different trails and the bike still felt good. So I've just been riding it in the position it came from the factory, which is neutral, which is, there's a slacker version or a slacker position, and then the most slack position still to go. So I could make it more kind of downhill oriented if I wanted to, but I've been pedaling this thing a bunch, so I just kind of left it. It felt good, but I'll probably experiment on that with you know, a shuttle day, or if we do get some resorts to open to biking this summer, we'll see. Hopefully, crossing fingers. But yeah, so I got some riding footage that I'll kind of throw in here too. So as I was putting laps in, I just noticed that I started going faster than I was last year without even trying. So I just tried a few times on a few of the trails that I frequent often, and just ended up blowing all my old times out of the water. Yeah, the bike just hauls ass. It rolls really fast. It's definitely not the fastest on the like flat, you know, but if there's any sort of downhill, the thing just picks up speed real quick. And through chunky stuff like this zone, it just is a lot more confidence inspiring. Yeah, I used to be a little nervous about a couple of spots here, mostly this spot coming up, but it's really easy to pick where you want your front tire to go and just rolls over everything. So it just, yeah, kind of makes the scary stuff less scary, able to carry more speed in confidently, and yeah, it just kind of mows shit down. And this trail here is called Bobsled. It's a really fun one. It's got a ton of turns, really fast up top. It's definitely a good spot to feel the bike out. Bike still feels really nimble. Yeah, I've been going faster here than I've been in the past, and all the little chop and stuff, it doesn't really feel like much of a big deal on this thing. You just kind of put the front tire where you want to go, and it doesn't really seem to care what's in the way. You just mow it down and just haul ass.